Hello my dear friends, let's get started to be familiar with the raising of silkworms step by step. These newly hatched eggs are Chinese breed. Each package has about 14 grams weight, containing around 25,000 numbers of silk eggs. What this pack is an Iranian breed produced in Gilan province with larger cocoon as compared to the Chinese one. These tiny tots are newly born silkworms in dark color which are smaller than ants. The newly hatched larva or silkworm is a voracious eater consuming large quantities of mulberry leaves. It grows rapidly and sheds its skin several times as it increases in size. The shedding of skin is called molting. The larval stage is the longest and most crucial for silk production. The silkworms can also be fed with the leaves of sugar beet or lettuce, but the best quality silk cocoon can be obtained just by mulberry leaves. A main practical tip during the first days of silk production is keeping them safe from the ants and other invader insects and birds. Also, the ambient situation is important. For example, the temperature should be around 25 centigrades and relative humidity should be around 60%, and these are comfort zones for the larva. Here, as you can see, we are using lime as a disinfectant which should be repeated several times throughout the production phases. Silkworm is in the family Bombacidia and the order of Lepidoptera with the scientific name of Bombyx mori. It has been domesticated in China and in fact lost some of its characteristics during domestication such as considerable movement and smelling. Therefore, the silkworm cannot live without the help of humans anymore. And now let's review the life cycle of silkworms, which consists of four stages. That is egg, larva, pupa, and adult moth. Duration of life cycle is 6 to 8 weeks that depends on different factors. The little worms are at the size of 1 to 2 millimeters and in dark color, but gradually they grow up and consequently the skin color will be lighter. Here under the binocular, let's watch the hatched eggs with 10 times magnification. Please pay attention that these are just the outer shells of the hatched eggs. Beside them, you can see the 6-day-old worm with its special fibers, something like the hairs. The place of silkworms during the production phases should be extended gradually. Mulberry leaves should be cleaned and at least 3 times a day should be fed. As I said, the silkworms feed solely on large amounts of leaves from the mulberry tree for around 30 to 40 days. The silkworms shed their skin up to 4 times or molt as they continue to eat and grow. After their final molt, whenever the larva is fully grown, it stops eating and begins to spin a silken cocoon around itself. Interestingly, from the viewpoint of morphology, each silkworm has 8 pairs of respiratory pores. Also, it has 3 pairs of chest feet and 5 pairs of abdominal feet. By the way, mouse and rat are the innate enemies of silkworms which can easily tear them up. Whenever the silkworm is well developed and its length is about 60 millimeters, it stops feeding and its color will be brighter and the black color of excreta will be changed into brown before the start of building cocoon. Silk fiber from the mouth of worm is liquid form at first but converts to solid form as exposed to the air. The cocoon is made of a single long silk thread, and producing cocoon usually lasts for 2 days. And the silk fiber is composed of two main proteins that are called fibrin, and serotinin. By the way, during the producing cocoon, we should not touch the cocoon at all. And bear in mind that the protein content of mulberry leaves is effective on the quality of cocoon fiber. Interestingly, different places or devices for cocoon production can be designed or used, such as these simple egg cones. Interestingly, different breeds have various cocoon colors. For example, in India, the dominant cocoon color is usually green, but in Europe, the yellow color is more common. But in China and Iran, we can see the white cocoons with different sizes. And eventually the beautiful white cocoons are ready to be sold. Anyway, from biological aspect, inside the cocoon, the silkworm transforms into a pupa that is a non-feeding stage and significant physical changes occur. And after around 2 weeks, the pupa emerges from the cocoon as an adult moth. The adult mouse looks for a mate and a female mouse lays around 500 tiny eggs, and after around 10 days the larvae or silkworms hatch. Thanks a lot for your time and attention. Bye bye.